Now, from the paragraph, the impact of the barbarian invasions. So, from the paragraph, the barbarian invasions left Rome a city of ruins. The invasions weakened the authority of the Roman rulers because they failed to challenge the invaders. Trade declined due to violent political conditions. The most important impact of these inventions was the rise and spread of feudalism, which lasted in various forms across Europe of hundreds of years. So, the inventions of barbarian left the Rome as the city of ruins, means destruction of the structure. When the barbarians came to Rome, they destroyed all the buildings, and after the invasions, people left the Rome, and due to this, structure were collapsed. The barbarian invasions make the Roman ruler weak because they remain powerless to challenge the invaders. Trades are stopped because risk of life, and the important impact of invasions was the rise and spread of feudalism. So, the next topic is rise of feudalism. So, from the paragraph, after the fall of the Roman Empire in the 5th century, there were very few kings in Europe who could afford to maintain a standing army. So the king granted portions of land to nobles, and in return, the noble promised loyalty and protection. Raise an army of knights and fight for the kings. To the kings. The kings become the lord and the noble become the vassals. So, after the end of Roman Empire in 5th century, only few kings of Rome afford the army and lived a luxurious life. This all because they give land to nobles and ask them to protect and be loyal and fight for the king. The king become the lord and the nobles become their vassals. Now, from the paragraph. The noble gave lands to knights in return for fighting battles. The noble thus become lords to the knights. The peasants farmed on the land of the knights and the noble in return for protection against enemy attacks. The serfs occupied the lowest rung among the peasants. Unlike the peasants, serfs were bonded labor and led miserable lives. This system of granting land on condition of service was called feudalism. Actually, they created the whole system in which the Roman emperor gave their land to nobles in the exchange for loyalty, and the noble gave their lands to knight in the return for fighting for them, and for them noble becomes lords. After these, peasants farmed on the land of knight exchange of protection from the enemies attacked, and among the peasants the serf occupied the lowest rank in them. They work as a bonded labor. This system of granting land on condition called feudalism. The next topic, the Byzantine Empire. So from the paragraph, in about 395 century, the Roman Empire was split in two, the Western Roman Empire and the Eastern Roman Empire. The Western Roman Empire declined in the face of repeated barbarian invasions. The, the Eastern Roman Empire, known as Byzantine, survived for another 1,000 years. Its capital was Constantinople. So, about 395 century, Roman Empire split into two parts, the Western and the Eastern Roman Empire. The Western Roman Empire came in the end because of continuously attacked by the barbarians. On the other side, Eastern Roman Empire survived for another years. This all because of Constantinople was the capital and now they known as Byzantine. Now the paragraph. The Byzantine Empire enjoy a strategic location which enable rulers to exploit the trade routes between Asia and Europe. Under able rulers such as Justinian I, the Byzantine Empire became one of the wealthiest in the world. Justinian I not only introduced a new system of law, he also built many churches, including the famous Hagia Sophia. So, for the Byzantine Empire, they enjoyed the location where they lived. This all because of their trade rules between the Asia and Europe. Under the able ruler such as Justinian I, the Byzantine Empire became wealthiest rulers in the world. And Justinian I not only made some new system of law, this is also because he built many churches, including the famous Hagia Sophia.